Hey everyone. So I wanted to do this last little segment about how to handle not overeating around the holidays. I wanted to handle this one live just so I could show you things. So the title of today's, as you saw, was what to do and how to deal with all those leftovers. So why is this an issue? Okay, so think about it a little bit. Let's take Thanksgiving. So with Thanksgiving, there was all this food, all these sides. If you hosted, you probably wound up with quite a bit of leftovers. Now, leftovers are not a bad thing, actually. It's just more like how we handle them is really kind of like the make or break type of thing. So, for example, for Thanksgiving, we wound up with more turkey leftovers than anything. And I was happy about that because turkey is healthy. Turkey, especially like turkey breast meat, super healthy. You can eat it for like as many meals as you want, and it's not really going to pack on the pounds, just like other things could. My mom's mashed potato casserole, on the other hand, there's a lot of really heavy, really calorie dense ingredients in that. I was really happy that we only had enough to last us one more meal afterwards. That's because it went on the day of. There was not much left over. It's really good. So basically, step one is if you're having people over or if you're going to be making a lot of food, try to get rid of as many of the leftovers as possible. I know sometimes, and I've been to social gatherings where it's like this, where there's so much food left over because nobody will take the leftovers. Well, do what you can to see how much, people can take. Just be like, hey, look, this is not something I'm going to be looking to eat over the next few days. Please take it, okay? All right, so do what you can. But after that, you'll possibly be left over with a lot more. Okay, so think about what you got here. Alrighty, so I've got this. This is pretty healthy, and yeah, I'll definitely want to eat it the next few days. Okay, this, maybe not the healthiest, but I'll eat it for one day. What am I going to do for the rest of it? And obviously, we're taking the rest of your family into account here too, because sometimes there's so much left over that one meal will not kill it all. So what I'm going to say is definitely freeze it. Most things can be frozen. I highly recommend exploring that possibility depending on what it is that, hi Jenny, depending on what it is that you are left over with, but most foods can be. Okay, so let's take this for example. This is something that's in my freezer. It is homemade spinach and artichoke dip. That's because I made a lot and I didn't want to be stuck with the leftovers because the day after I made it, I wanted to be eating healthy again. So I put it in a Ziploc bag and I made sure that I took out all of the extra air, and then I made sure that I wrote what was in it. And it's about a year old. And you know what? It's going to still be good because I've actually frozen this recipe for about a year and a half before, and it was fine, when I ate it. So we're probably going to eat this a year later for New Year's. Yay! All right, but the key thing is I did a couple things. First of all, I used a freezer bag. I used one that's specifically made for freezing things. That's because it's a little bit heavier, and there is absolutely no freezer burn in this. I am not seeing any ice crystals at all in here, okay? See that? But the key thing is I took out all the air, okay? So, super important. Okay, so I'm going to actually put this back in the freezer. I don't want it out for too long. Hang on. But I'm going to bring this, because sometimes for liquid things like dip, you got to use a Ziploc bag for it. But this, for anything solid, yes, highly recommend a vacuum sealer. I have a funny story about a vacuum sealer, actually. A couple years ago, I bought one for my dad for Christmas because I talked about it a lot, and I was like, this is a great idea. You should do this for all your pre-portioning of hot dogs and hamburgers and steaks and stuff. He's like, new stuff. So I was like, he doesn't know. He's not going to get it himself. So I bought him one, and I bought him extra rolls of stuff because, they give you some, but they only give you a little bit. So you've got to buy your own extra rolls, or else you're not going to want to use it and be like, oh, I don't want to run out of the stuff. No, get extra rolls. And I had it on Amazon, and it was a really good deal. It was perfect. So I got him one a lot like what I just showed you, and he used it maybe a few weeks later and couldn't stop raving about it. He's like, this is so much better. I'm like, yes, it is. It's easy to use. So what's the difference? it makes your food last months longer, okay? Because after a while, and I'm actually gonna grab a test product. This, I kept this just for this post. Want to see something gross? So this is from a year and a half ago. It is still in my freezer because I wanted to show you. I did not buy it. It was given to me. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to eat this. But you know what? This is something that people can learn from. Okay, so it is about a year and a half old now, looking at the dates. It is chicken stir-fry strips, and it is not vacuum sealed. Okay, I just pulled it out of the freezer. Okay, there's some play in this. The air is not sucked out of it. But you know what? If this was in a vacuum sealed package, it would probably still be good. Okay, when you look at it, you can see like these little grainy things, like little fibers inside the meat, and that's when you know that it's starting to go. It's chicken, it should be like slick looking, you know? So like, yeah, something isn't good. Okay, so but either way, if it had been vacuum sealed and all that air sucked out of there, that was a cat, of course, right? Then it would possibly still be good. Okay, vacuum sealers take those recommended. What is she doing? One moment. Lily! Dude. Get out of that box and stop making noise. Okay. I'm going to put this gross looking meat away and I'll probably end up getting rid of it. Okay? So, anyways, yeah. So, the recommended freeze times, freeze duration, preservation length for different meats, it's good to abide by those. It's really, really good to abide by those. But if you vacuum seal it, it's going to last longer than that. And if nothing more, if you'd rather stay with those recommended dates, like 6 months, 3 months, a year, whatever, if you'd rather stick with that, then at least rest assured that after that amount of time, then your meat will not only still be good, but it will actually look and taste good rather than it being iffy after a year amount of time. I'm going to grab this cat and pull her. Get over here. She has been such a pain lately. Alright, well, you know what? You get to be on the camera and you get to be squished, so I know you're not going to be in any trouble. Anyhow, so, anyways, nothing like a cat to, like, throw you off track, right? Okay, so, but yeah, you can rest assured. So when you use a vacuum sealer, the meat, obviously it kind of shrinks up around it, just like you're starting to see in the supermarkets when you buy meat from the meat section. That's because, well, they know that it's going to be a better quality. Okay, that's why you're starting to see that. But it like takes out all the air from around it, and after a year or so, when it's been sitting in that freezer, it still looks the same as when you first put it in. Okay, no ice crystals, no weird looking fiber things, no discoloration. Yeah. Okay, much better thing. Another option is this, and this is also for liquids. This is shrimp bisque from, looks like, I can't really read my writing, but it looks like it's from January of last year. I actually just ate this not that long ago. What I did is I filled it almost up to the top, almost, because when things freeze, they expand, so we don't want it to make a mess, you know. And I just put it in one of these, like, almost like disposable carry-ons, okay? So, or carry-out, take-alongs, that's what they're called, yeah. And, you know, this is not a special one. I think it's a no-name brand, I'm pretty sure. But, a couple months ago, I took out one of these, and I thawed it, and it was delicious, okay? So I kept it because it was delicious when I made it. But, yeah, so definitely good things to do. So, anyway, so back to the whole leftovers thing, okay? So think about what you have. Think about how you can best preserve it. It was good food. It was food worthy of a holiday. Don't feel like there's any pressure to eat it all right away. How about rather divide it up, get rid of what you can, divide it up into, okay, I'm going to eat this tomorrow or like in a couple days, sometime this week, and I'm not going to feel like eating it then. Don't get rid of it. Preserve it, label the container, stick it in the freezer, and you will be so happy when you actually get a chance, oh my gosh, seriously, when you actually get a chance to eat that holiday food, that delicious holiday food at a later date, okay? So, highly recommend you handle your leftovers that way this year. Okay? All right, so that's my last informational post for a few days. I will be back to say Merry Christmas, though, okay? Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks.